evening, everyone. My name is Sherilyn Simpson. I'm the owner of Blackjack Boar Goats. My channel here on YouTube is a different name because it's a broader subject than what it's going to be. So it's not just for goats, it's going to be for gardening, homesteading, that kind of deal. I wanted to kind of introduce myself so there's not a whole lot of confusion. But this video today, I am going to go over some husbandry type stuff for goats. I run a herd of boar goats, as I stated. They are kind of show goats. They're nothing too fancy. But I do also breed and raise some boar goats. We don't have anything like a humongous, like a 100-acre farm or anything. This is kind of like just a small, dinky homestead that we run here. A lot of my specialty lies with gardening and raising livestock. My background, I've been in boar goats since 2012, give or take. I got into it by an interest of my sister-in-law. She was married to a gentleman that were pretty involved in boar goats. I honestly have never heard of the breed until I met, my sister-in-law. And I slowly just fell in love with the breed themselves. I will probably keep about 8 to 10 head in general, all in all, throughout the year. Some points of the year I'll have a whole lot more, but then I'll sell down to about that much. I typically, being the one that raises them, my husband kind of just helps me by just being a supportive husband. I'm kidding. He's not very fond of them, let's put it that way, but we all have our own interest, and raising livestock's always been my thing. And that also goes with the gardening. He likes hearing about it, what I'm growing and stuff, but to actually be involved in the garden is not also his forte, so. But my other background in raising livestock is I'm a registered veterinary technician. I'm basically equal to a registered nurse in the human world. So I've been working around large animals and within the goat industry for about 10 years now. And I have a heavy knowledge and background in horses, actually, is where I come from. I got my first horse when I was 10 years old, got involved in 4-H, and ever since then it's just always been a country type girl and just love my animals. I now only have one horse, and I've always thought about raising horses. However, don't ask. I guess I came to the dark side and decided to start raising goats, and I have not turned back since. I still have a horse. Yes, I do ride. I've always liked to show world in pretty much anything I can get my hands on. And I guess you could say that's why I've stuck it out with the boar goats, because it requires a whole lot of training in an aspect, because if you know anything about horses, you have to put a lot of work to it. And not to say goats aren't that way, but goats are sure a whole lot less time invasive, if you would say, than horses are. I just like to do hobby riding in a sense, like trail riding, just run around the neighborhood in a sense. With the boar goats, haven't been showing as much as I like. However, next month we are going to a show, and it's ran by a good friend of ours that we really love to support, and she's very heavy in the industry. And she also puts on a sale with this show too, so it's pretty neat stuff. My oldest daughter is really wanting to get into goats now, and I think it's a benefit for them to learn a little bit of husbandry when it comes to raising livestock. They've got to get their hands dirty and with the kidding season and getting to play with the babies. That's their favorite, as any kid. But she, this lady, she puts on a nice goat sale. It's a breed sale, and the show, and we just love supporting her every year. That being said, back to the veterinary aspect of things, I have been in the livestock industry, whether it's horses, goats, used to show sheep in high school. I have a very diverse background in large animal when it comes to veterinary medicine. I currently work in a practice that I do small animal, so I have also a diverse background in your doggies and kitties, if you would say. And they're just great. I meet some wonderful people in this industry. However, as a side hustle besides doing this wonderful gig, in the little spare time I have, I also do hoof trimming and ultrasounding for mainly goats, and helping people with learning how to raise livestock, or the goats. A lot of the people I do hoof trimming for have never, much less seen a goat in their life, but much less know how to do trimming for goats, or even know that they even need it done. I get people reaching out to me all the time about a lot of questions. So I thought maybe coinciding with the gardening, if you are interested in raising livestock, or in goats in particular, I am going to do this video today to help with information on mites and lice on goats. And this can pertain to other types of livestock, but this will be concentrated onto goats. I have had a lot of questions about this subject, and that's part of the reason why I will be going over this with y'all today. Feel free to message me. I have a Facebook page, Blackjack Boar Goats, and you know, you can message me here on YouTube and whatnot, of any questions or concerns you have related to this topic. I hope you all have a good day, and let's get started. So I know today on this video I said I was going to go through worming issues and whatnot. He's got this little flap right here. That's what we considered bottle jaw, and this is due to the excessive parasite load. But as we're dealing right now, a lot of rain, your parasite overload is going to be a little increased and whatnot. And he's already dealing with infection with his skin as a primary issue. And you can see he kind of lacks in that area. And as close up, you can see the skin looks very scaly. That's a good spot right there. Generally these boys, get them started in the winter, and I wasn't able to treat him very well through the winter. He didn't respond very well to ivermectin, and and so, or just injectable. So I'm increasing by providing extra on top with some topical, which is on the skin, kind of like a flea and tick medicine that you give on dogs. And then ivermectin is an injectable. It will help internally. And shampoo also helps with the itch and the skin issues. But they typically, these bucks will get them down their legs, is where it will start. And they will start to swell up, also scab. He was developing a lot of sores down his legs, and you can see the flies are just eating them up. So I'm going to give him some fly spray too. But his scrotal area, he's finally growing some hair back. And we've done, like I said, multiple treatments, so he looks really bad. But he's finally starting to grow his hair back and recover. So I figured I'd go through this process with you if you ever get into the process of raising any kind of livestock on your homestead. This is stuff that you got to look out for. Usually I wouldn't wait this long to treat them, but you know, you kind of do what you got to do. He's a good boy. One thing you look for, his eyelids are a little pale, and if you've ever seen an animal that's dehydrated, their eyes will look sunken in like his. So he's got a ways to go to get healthy again. But if there's any other questions about how to treat mites and goats, always reach out to me. Always like to give people pointers and educate them. Often our worst enemies are those that we can't see. Parasites is a big one. They could be internal or external. The biggest sign that your goats have mites or lice is that they start scratching and itching, biting and pulling on their leg hair. There's several keys to keep in mind when considering keeping your herd health a top priority. There's prevention and treatment options out there that will help manage these parasites. Preventative treatments out there include vaccinations, keeping your areas clean, such as your barn, your pens, and as you see here, what I'm doing is bathing the infected animal, which is my herd sire. When you treat your bedding, there's several things that you can do to treat your bedding. Because mites like to burrow, I apologize, I can't speak any English. They like to burrow a lot, so being on top of treating your bedding and keeping your pens clean is crucial. There's sprays with popular insecticides out there for mites and mange. As I stated already, keeping your pens clean, meaning removing the bedding completely from that area, and ideally burn it or throw it in the trash. Vaccination protocols keeps your immune system in great health, which in turn, a goat with a bad immune system leads to a higher risk of having lice and mites. As I'm showing here, these are some of your treatments that you can use on top of preventatives